exits the government spokesperson's office to take charge of the Office of Diversity, Inclusion and Disability Rights. Mwaura leaves behind a tenure that combined policy communication, public engagement and intense scrutiny during some of the government's most difficult moments, from explaining flagship programs to facing questions over communication failures during the 2024 Gen Z protests. Mwaura now reflects on his journey and the lessons learned. Mike Kagwongo with the details.
I, Isaac Maigua Mwaura.
For nearly 3 years, Isaac Mwaura was the voice tasked with explaining the Kenya Kwanza administration to the public. Appointed government spokesperson in October 2023, Mwaura succeeded retired Colonel Cyrus Oguna, who had served in the same role under the Jubilee administration. His appointment came as President William Ruto's government sought to strengthen communication after taking office in 2022, with a focus on explaining its agenda and countering criticism.
The challenge of my office was in communications, curating government communication that was more mainstream media-led to both mainstream and new media. Most of this activity was not happening through the mainstream media, it is social media. Now, with the tools of social media, now everybody is a blogger, everybody is a quasi-journalist, and everybody is communicating, is broadcasting. So you now have government now, which all of a sudden was dealing with 3, 4, 5 media channels to dealing with everybody. The cabinet secretary.
During his tenure, Mwaura became a regular face in government communication, defending policies and highlighting achievements in sectors including affordable housing, the Hustler Fund, digital transformation and economic reforms.
I want to say asanteni sana.
Through press briefings and public engagements, he sought to bridge the gap between government decisions and citizens' understanding of policy.
The general roles is to amplify. And then before you amplify, you must verify. Verify, you have to make sure that you have connection with all of the MDs. Now, I have come up with a system that you are able to know what all the state departments, ministries, judiciary, parliament is doing on a daily basis. So you have the GOK daily news brief, which then summarizes what are people doing. I have an average of 90 stories from government every day.
But the role came with challenges. The 2024 Gen Z-led protests became a defining moment for the Kenya Kwanza administration, exposing growing concerns over taxation, the economy, and the government's ability to communicate effectively with a younger, digitally connected population.
Kenyans will remember the press briefing that I did at night, that same day. It was on a Saturday. And then, of course, on Tuesday is when they almost wanted to overrun the government. But we thank God that we survived. But that was very, very difficult moment. We had to be very creative. We had to ensure we come up with organic content.
Critics accused the government of failing to listen and explain its decisions early enough, while officials blamed misinformation and distorted narratives for shaping public opinions.
So you find people who tell you, kama sijakuona kwa TV, it's TV 47 jioni, haujafanya kitu. Na kuna mle anakuambia, sisomange newspaper. You get it? So that is now what I would want to imagine is a challenge of communication. How do you make sure that you do not select certain channels of communication, that you are present in all of them so that you're able to meet? Because people now are getting news using preference. It's what you prefer.
Looking back, Mwaura says communication in government is a complex responsibility, requiring not only the ability to explain policies, but also to listen and respond to public concerns.
There is an interface. We need to engage more constructively with the media. But I also want to ask the media to be more patriotic, man. Let us not just go for stories because they are making headlines.
He now moves to lead the Office of Diversity, Inclusion and Disability Rights, a role he describes as an opportunity to advance representation and ensure marginalized groups have a stronger voice within government. His redeployment comes as the government ushers in a new communication approach, with Charles Owino taking over as government spokesperson. As Mwaura leaves the podium, questions remain on the successes and the shortcomings of the Kenya Kwanza's messaging strategy over the last 4 years.
National disability policy has come into place after 19 years. So what are we supposed to do is to make sure that we have regulations and we have proper funding, appointments, all of that. But it's not just disability rights. The new office has got 3 pillars. Diversity, what does it mean? Inclusion, what does it mean? Then disability rights. So it's not just to pigeonhole it to disability. That would be the greatest disservice. It is broader. It is broader than that. It's a very broad mandate.
For him, the next assignment shifts from defending government's policies to championing inclusion within executive. Mike Kagwango, TV 47, Nairobi.